Beautiful day. You too. To kick off the show, Steve.
Absolutely.
The Ricky Gervais Show with Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Claire Sturgis.
Oh, hello,
Indeed.
boys.
Carl's ill. Well, he's not here. I mean, I never believe people when they're ill. I think they're always malingering. I never take any days off work. I just think you can drag yourself in unless it's life-threatening or...
To be fair, Rick, can I just stop you there? It's not so much that you take days off as you'll just suddenly decide around lunchtime that you've overeaten and you need to go and lie down.
But I'm my own
with
boss.
a cold compress.
Yeah,
and
but
a
I'm
Swedish masseuse.
I'm my own boss.
Yeah. So it's not so much you take days off. It's not so much you take days off as you never actually do a full day's work.
Yeah,
you actually prevent that.
I never take that hour and a half off a day.
Exactly.
XFM 104.9.
So what's the story, Claire? Do you know anything about Carl? Do you know what his illness is?
I think he's got this this sort of cold virus that's going around. He phoned me yesterday. He did sound poorly in his defence. A little bit croaky.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He coughed a bit.
I'm not being funny. He better be in hospital.
.9 XFM, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington's pressing the buttons. We're playing some great moments from the last 3 weeks.
And some great records, Steve, from the last 2 weeks.
That's true enough.
Yeah.
We're not actually here today. What are you up to today, Rick?
It's 8 hours earlier, so, this is about 2 o'clock, probably. Mm-hmm. So, it's about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm still in bed, mate. I'm asleep. In me hotel room.
Now, where are you?
We're in LA.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
City of Angels, Rick.
Yeah.
City of Angels.
Yeah, and so that's what we're doing. We're doing stuff like that. That's why we're not here. We're not here next week either. So next week is the best of this week.
Someone's left one of those little things in here. It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's amazing. What are they called, those things?
I'm just there. I was thinking of being in the front row at a Morrissey concert and going, can I just play along? They are brilliant.
I don't know what kind of sound that is.
I don't know. It's only used for when Kenneth Williams sees someone undressing.
Yeah.
That's the only time that is used, that noise.
Exactly.
That is brilliant.
But it's like it was specially created for the Carry On films.
Yeah, we need... I don't know what it is, but we need something when I walk in and see someone changing. Well, what about this? There is a Light That Never Goes Out by the Smiths. I phoned Carl up in the week, and I said, what are you doing? He went, well, even though it's one of my days off, I'm just doing some research on the web. Found anything that said, yeah, I'm doing science. And then he said, you can get wigs for dogs in Tokyo. That's his scientific fact. And I went, what do you mean, dogs, if they need a wig? I said, if they need a wig, what, dogs going bald? And he went, like, this is fine to him, he went, it's a stressful city, Tokyo. The world's all right with Carl. He's always got an explanation. I've only ever seen him confused once. When, in Edinburgh, he looked out of his window one day and he saw a bloke putting a parking ticket on some rubbish.
Yeah.
And that genuinely confused him.
Yeah.
He couldn't work out, could you?
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
And the woman breastfeeding her 8-year-old child, you didn't like, did you?
I don't like that. But, what's the name? Animals with wigs. I kind of thought, after I put the phone down to you, I kind of thought about it, thought, yeah, it's a bit daft, that.
Are you sure it's not the ageing pop group?
No.
The Animals?
But when you think, have you ever seen, like, a bald pet?
No.
It's weird.
What do you mean?
Because my mum, we had a cat, we used to get through loads of cats because we lived on a...
Oh, God, it's starting early today, isn't it?
What do you mean you got
It's only 10 past 1.
What are you doing?
No,
Running a restaurant?
We lived on...
Oh, God, what do you mean?
No, we lived on, like, a main road.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we used to get through a lot of them. My dad kept
their
saying,
risk.
you know, stop wasting money, you know, it's not
Stop
good.
wasting money, not wasting cats.
Right, so, anyway, we had this cat that was ill all the time. And,
It's just bag of nerves, probably.
Yeah, malingerer. Yeah, I'm terrified.
I'm going to which house?
Rome. Oh, God, bloody hell. Rome.
Don't let me go to the Pilkingtons.
and it, for some reason, it kept being sick all the time.
Yeah, that is nerves. That's definitely nerves.
So my mum kind of thought, oh, I've had enough of this, and she shaved it.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, I know you're not vets in your family, but what correlation did your mum think there was between you being sick and shaving it?
Because it kept being sick, and it was a pain to wash, because it kept getting
So
caught
she
up.
wanted a dry wipe cat.
So,
Why didn't she just varnish it? What?
it's weird,
So now he's cold and sick.
No, but not all of it. She left sort of the back half, but sort of from its waist, sort of.
I love that! Shave it because it's sick on itself!
And
That is
it was the
genius.
weirdest looking thing. I mean, normally I like cats. I'm always like giving yours a stroke on the head and that.
Yeah.
But as soon as she did that, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
Poor
can't
thing!
touch it. And then
So now it's sick, cold and hated.
Yeah.
I love... Carl...
It must have, I mean, the other cats must have been taking the mick out of it constantly. You're just making things worse. Did it get, I'm hoping that it got run over and was put out of its misery.
no, I think it got all right, that one. Or is that the? Yeah, it did get run over. It did.
Ah! Oh, God! Oh dear.
How many cats do you say you've got through?
I'd say whilst I was living at home, I mean, it's still on the increase even though I'm not there. So whilst I was there, probably 5.
God!
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
And were you upset each time, or you just got used to it?
It's one of them things, isn't it? Like I've said before, when you first see something, it's a bit of a shock. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Elephant Man or whatever.
Yeah.
First time you see him, it's that sort of, oh, look at that.
Do you remember the first time you saw Steve? No, I'm not being funny. Do you remember the first...
Yeah, but I've said this before, it's always, then you get used to how people look, and you don't... No.
I'm gonna burst. You have to play a record.
No, but-
Because I just see Steve's face.
No, but I've got used to it.
Shut up.
Well, here we are again, XFM, on a Saturday. Just gone 1 o'clock, Steve, if I'm very much mistaken. But we're not here, as such. We're away again, gallivanting around. We've got to do the special sort of best of again.
Okay.
Which we did a few weeks ago, so this is the best of the last 3 weeks. Which I think is, I think it's the best 3 weeks we've ever had. But I'd like it condensed into 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Some great music as well in there.
Yeah, there'll be some great music, interspersed with fine chat that you've already heard.
Yeah.
Except this bit's new. We've actually, out of the kindness of our heart, we've come in last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've done a few clips, just because we felt a bit guilty about shooting off.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
leaving.
even now, having heard this link, I'm beginning to wonder if it was worth our time.
Yeah. Well, should we play a classic link?
Let's play, I'd love what, from the last 3 weeks?
After this is Feeder. Well, if you've just tuned in, it's XFM 104.9, you've got that bit right. Ricky Gervais Show, with me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
Carl is actually in a little booth. We're not in the studio, you see. This is pre-recorded. We recorded this last week, because we're away. And it's sort of like the best of the last 3 weeks, since last time we were away, when we put out the best of.
It's a long time since we've had any White Van Carl. For those that don't remember this particular hot feature, we basically ask Carl some of the questions that are asked of a white van driver in the Sun. They always have this on Saturday afternoons. Anyway, here's the first one. They're not fascinating, Carl, but I'm just interested on your take, really.
Yeah.
What do you make of Cilla Black quitting Blind Date after her husband sent a message from beyond the grave? Are you familiar with this story?
I didn't know that. What's that?
She went to see a medium, and supposedly her husband passed on information through the medium, which was incredibly vague, but persuaded her to quit live on air.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? If even dead people are saying, enough's enough. But I'll tell you what, though, talking about ghosts and that, do you know how I'm into them?
Yeah.
Right? How weird do you think this is, right?
Well, it's not true. Before you say it, play a record.
No, go on.
Go on.
Right, it's this woman. I don't even know if it's ghost, really. It's just a bit weird.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
There's this woman, and she's not a woman, she's a kid.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
She's walking down, like, a street in her area. It's a nice day and everything. Everything's normal. She's walking down, and a woman comes up, cycling past, right? The woman on the bike looks at the kid, absolutely terrified, right? Got a really scary face on her.
Yeah.
The kid's thinking, why is she doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So anyway, she thinks nothing of it, goes, you know, I think she was playing in the park or whatever, goes and has a nice day. About 15 years later...
Oh, right, yeah.
She's, I don't know, I think she was going to work, right, on a bike.
She was riding her own bike.
Riding her own bike, cycling down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Looks at the kid. That's the thing that happened, like, 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
It's her on the bike looking at her as a kid.
Right.
What do you
Not another child.
No. So
Right.
it's her, she's seen herself.
What, Carl? I mean, I don't know where to start.
Firstly, where's this information come from?
But I mean, why do you ever? I mean, I don't know what part of that you think can be true. I don't. I'm honest. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. What are you talking about?
Bit weird, though, isn't it?
But it's not true.
It didn't happen. Nothing happened like that.
She said it did.
Well,
Who?
then she's wrong.
She said she saw herself.
She saw herself as a kid, didn't she?
Did she carry on riding
And as an
cars?
adult when she was a kid.
Did she stop and talk to herself, or did she ride on by and think, that's a bit weird, there's me as an 8-year-old. I won't stop, I'll be late for work.
Yeah. If I'm late again, the boss said he'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, if,
And
you
where
know-
is this information? Did it happen to someone you know?
No,
You overheard it on the bus?
no, it was in the 14 Times.
Ah, right, well,
Ah,
that's
okay.
the answer.
Good,
We've
okay.
got to the bottom of that.
Right, good.
Carl, let me ask you now, Carl, you will be a little bit unnerved about this. Have you seen the film Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
You know what happened there? Well, according to the Sun here, it says scientists are planning to clone mammoths for a theme park. Look at his face, look at that, he looks like a dog caught in the headlights of a car, he's terrified.
I love Carl.
He sprung to attention
Carl.
there.
Is that the best news you could have?
Man moths.
Right.
Yeah, man moths.
I
Man
love
moths.
the fact that that's why he was so excited that they've bred a man moth. What is this? Yeah, it's a human being that hides in your wardrobe and eats an entire jacket in a day.
Yeah.
What do you mean man moths? Mammoths. Mammoth, the big hairy
Have you heard
cow
of the
from the
mammoth?
Ice Age. I mean, elephant.
You're not so excited about that, then? You can take or leave bringing back mammoths to life, but a man moth...
A man moth is a different matter. Oh, if we'd have never brought that up, he'd have gone and told someone now.
Yeah.
You know, they've bred an half man, half moth.
This
and
is
that's
what
how,
we
That's how
mean.
things start.
This is what we mean when you hear
don't-
these ghost
Are you
stories.
slightly deaf? Is that it? When you hear these stories, is it?
Carl, is English your first language? Are you actually foreign? Is that the
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
Should we
But
speak
when we say
slower?
foreign, we mean not of this planet.
Yeah. Should we speak slower? Would that be a help to you?
No, go on. Next
What do you
one.
make of
Do
that?
you think that's
Seriously,
good? Would you
the
think that's
idea
good
of
to bring
bringing
back mammoths?
prehistoric animals.
These giant elephants.
They're slow, aren't they? It's not as if they're going to, like, get out and run fast and they can't capture them.
They'd probably be a
like
fence, to be
elephants,
honest,
aren't
Carl. They'd probably be a fence.
they? No, but but you're asking it as if, like, oh, it could all go wrong, but it couldn't, could it?
Well,
Really?
but the point was about Jurassic Park is they thought it wouldn't go wrong, and they thought they had it all under
Yeah, but
control.
that was
and
Have you
dinosaurs.
learned nothing from Jurassic Park, Carl?
Dinosaurs would say, oh, think about it before you do it. But with a hairy elephant, it's not going to...
Not a concern for you. Would you go along to see him? Would you be interested in that?
If it was in the area.
He's great, isn't he? I'd love a queue,
Nothing
right?
impresses
No,
him.
but what I'd like to do is Carl sitting like Yoda in a little cave, and I'd just like to see people like Tony Blair and, you know, Stephen Hawkins in a queue, and they go and say, Carl, got a bit of a problem,
Yeah,
and
thinking of cloning a man and a moth.
Yeah.
Problem? Not an issue. No, if I'm in the area, I might cruise around and have a look at it. Otherwise, just don't send it near my my clothes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So it's just for a second.
What's
as the words "man moth" came into your head, how excited were you? I mean, were you both terrified and excited? Just for the moment when you thought that they'd cloned a man and a moth.
I pictured,
What kind of face did he have? Did he have the moth's head, or was it a man's head?
just a little man head.
Right, what was his face? What did it look like?
He just was like, a bit shocked.
Perplexed, yeah.
Yeah,
So it was like he'd been grafted onto the body of a moth without his consent.
And when he was asleep,
lad.
Yeah, he'd woken up.
he just went in to have a goiter removed,
Yeah.
and they said, "We've
He
replaced
woke
your
up with
goiter
wings.
with the body of a giant moth."
Yeah.
Is that all right, Mr. Jenkins?
So he had the head of a little. Was it a little boy or a man?
little man.
Right. Okay.
And he's just bumping into a lamp.
He's just bumping into a man.
If you went into hospital and they'd done something, what's the worst thing they could do, right? What would you rather have done, right? You wake up and you've got lobster claws for hands.
Right.
You wake up and you've got duck's feet. Or you wake up and you've got one horn coming out of your head.
The worst thing,
Yeah.
probably the horn coming out of my head.
Why?
Get in the way.
That'd be useful, wouldn't it, in fights and stuff? And for like parties, people would play
Well, I suppose
quoits.
the lobster claws would also be quite handy there. Oh, that's a wonderful, wonderful clip, and
Yeah.
a great record that preceded or followed it. I'm not sure. But
Oh,
could I make some dedications?
Yeah.
Because I last week, just before we had to come in to record this,
Yeah.
I popped out trying to get onto the tube, and I had a nightmare because there were millions of protesters, so-called protesters. Now, a lot of them obviously doing good work. There was one fella, I think you'd have appreciated it, because I know you are very politically active, and I think this guy has really studied hard, and he's realised the best way to make his voice heard on the international political stage is to ride around on a tricycle wearing a jester's hat. He was really shaking up the bloody
I
government.
wouldn't want to be George W. Bush about now.
Not indeed.
Once he sees that.
Once he sees that guy.
Imagine his aides rushing in and going, George W., look at this guy. Where's that? That's in London, England. Okay, call off the forces.
Is that a large tricycle?
Yeah!
Is he wearing a nappy?
Get me Colin Powell. Why'd you call him Colin, not Colin? It's the way he likes it. Don't about, just call off the troops. There's a in the jester's hat. Call the troops off.
Just bleep some of those bits.
XFM.
XFM 104.9 of a Saturday. Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
But we're not here. No, we're away. So this is the best of, and I hope you're enjoying it. We certainly are.
I had some exciting news this week, Carl. You'll be pleased to find out. I'm worried that you might get a little bit jealous, because it's obviously going to impact on your world quite strongly, because I know you think you'd like things to be quite samey. You'd like the status quo to be maintained. You like the fact that in the past, we've had some crosswords, because I remember, what did you think of me when I first walked in? When I first came in on the first day of XFM?
I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it, because I'm just being honest, though. I'm just being honest about a lot of people who see you for the first time sort of go, well, he's a bit weird.
I know that, Steve, that you brought it up, and then you're again.
But I'm sure that wasn't what he said before.
No,
did he say before?
Yeah, well,
he was a bit weird.
Yeah, well, he looked at you, and I knew. I could see by the look on his face. You know when you know your kid, and your kid's sort of scared of something, and they go, "Why's your kid?" I goes, "Oh, he doesn't like pigeons or spiders."
Right.
It was like that when I saw Carl, and I brought you in, and I went, "What do you think of that, Carl?" I could see the look on his face that he was disturbed.
Sure.
And then, as he said, you get used to it, don't you?
Yeah, you get used to it. And you have changed a little bit. Your hair's a bit smarter now, and you've got some nicer glasses and that, I think. Or I might have just got used to it.
Whoa! Don't bring it up, Steve. Don't
Well-
look at me like that.
So you say that you think some other people in the office thought the same? Do you know that for sure? Did
Carl.
you discuss it?
Carl.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Okay, leave it there then.
But not just in the office, as you walk through the building.
Oh, it's
done.
worse than you ever thought.
Well, no, it's not worse than I ever thought, because as you well know, Ricky Gervais,
Yeah.
what did I do on Thursday morning?
Oh, is this the thing,
For those that perhaps are not of the female persuasion listening, there's a magazine. Apparently it sells quite well. It's one of the sort of female, kind of issues magazines. I think it's called Company Magazine. It's like your sort of, I guess it's a bit like your More or your Vanity Fair or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway, they run every year the 50 most eligible bachelors in Great Britain section. Ding dong, hello. Who's in there this year? In the 50, in the top 50 of the entire country.
and then they vote, and they put them in order and see who's the most eligible bachelor.
But that's 50 people, right? It always annoys me slightly because bachelor, it kind of seems like a more sophisticated word for loser. doesn't it?
no.
Which always sort of unnerves me
And also,
slightly.
they try and do a different 50 every year, so they're
But-
getting pretty desperate to get different ones.
No,
you know,
no,
it's not
no,
really
no, no,
because
no.
also a lot of people who are sort of like successful, are married, so there's very little to.
No,
Go on, then.
there's a huge. I don't know if this is international. It could even be international. I'm
Sure.
not sure actually. So I
Sure.
could be up there with the likes of Justin Timberlake,
Sure.
etc. So Fred Durst.
Yeah.
That sort of person, you know. So anyway, this is what's exciting, right? Although I'm slightly frustrated because they were telling me that last year, all right, they gave, because what happens is the readers of the magazine, they vote for who they think is number one, most eligible bachelor, right? Last year, the prize was a 2-week trip in the Bahamas, okay? This year, I'm rather annoyed, because all I'm going to win is a moped. That's the prize this year, that's the prize this year, a moped.
Backtrack.
What?
Sorry? Last year was a 2-week trip to Bahamas, and this year
Just
what?
a moped, all I'm going to get is a
All
moped.
you're going to win is a moped.
Yeah, I'm
You're
so
not you've got no chance.
You're
You've
having
got
enough.
no chance.
You're
Who
having
else is in it? Who else is in it?
Well, I mean, I don't know, lots of them people you'd never heard of. I know Duncan from Blue.
Ding. So you're second to him at least already. I imagine you're going to come behind the other 49.
No.
So
No,
but, you
because
know,
there'll be people voting for me. They get to vote for me.
Yeah, Steve.
They'll
I
see my photo and then they can vote for me.
Yeah, according to he, I was 22nd most sexy man in the world.
I better take that helmet back.
I would. AC/DC.
Brilliant.
You shook me all night long on XFM 104.9. Well, this show is a rocking.
It is. It is.
Ricky
indeed.
Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Pilkington.
Quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
the arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks,
Right.
and then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, you know, don't go along with it. But if they're half bad,
Yeah.
put up with it. That's
Sure.
all right. The dancing,
Brilliant.
right,
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves. And
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was, like, pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and I'd become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry, how is that an anecdote about you going through dancing? You've told me before, you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing, you didn't even get in the that's not an
Yeah,
imagine if that was a film! This is not a boy's dreams of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, if that was Billy Elliot, do you think it would have won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose, alright?
Yeah.
I'm fed up they banned it. Let's go. Oh, it's shut. Flash dance. First, there was... it's a warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you know, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So... There's always other
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's that.
So that's solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee if you follow that advice.
So the advice
Besides that,
there is do an arranged marriage.
if she's not ugly.
minging,
Yeah.
she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing. Get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great.
XFM 104.9, we're not here. This next clip is one of my favourite clips. Look, it needs no introduction. Here it is.
What should we do next? What should we do next?
It's too much.
We, do we need them out of the way?
Let's
Get
get
do we
it
need them out of the way?
Yeah, just,
Let's explain it again.
if you're new, I'm sort of on a bit of a mission to find out, you know, we've got a lot of animals and insects in the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Do we need them all?
It still amuses me.
So we've found out we've got to keep jellyfish. We've done octopus. She said we've got to keep them. This week, snails.
Do we need them?